But right, let's look at more details, in more details at one of the big stories of today. We've been looking at the issue of pay rises throughout the course of this morning. Why? Because of that latest report from Aon. I want to bring in another report into the mix now because it makes for some interesting findings with regards to our health cover at the moment and the impact that is having on our spending prowess and power. A lot of people are getting in touch with regards to what they are saving money on and what they are being forced to spend money on at the moment. Well, a new survey by the team at Zurich, Middle East, suggesting that cancer is the leading cause of critical illness benefits paid, while lifestyle diseases like heart attacks and strokes are also the leading causes of life cover benefits paid, followed by COVID-19. So let's look at more detail at health insurance and the impact that is having on your financial planning. Joined now by Wilson Varghese, who is the General Manager and Head of Operations at Zurich Middle East. Wilson, kind enough to join us live on the line and also live via Microsoft Teams. Wilson, good morning to you.
Good morning.
Great to have you
to be here.
Join us as always. The Zurich 2022 Customer Benefits Paid Report is out at the moment for a lot of people to have a look at. In terms of the sort of prevailing trends that we're seeing at the moment, just how important is health and critical health cover coming for employees and employers here in the region?
Yeah, I think it's really important. This is an important study that we do every year. This is our 7th edition, and it serves to highlight the health trends and risks that our community is facing. And given that we insure more than $53 billion worth of risks, we'd like to think that this study is a barometer of what our community and region faces as health risks. As an underpenetrated market, and this is not a regional phenomenon, it's quite prevalent globally as well. I think it's really important that you have private and public, health players, but also governments and companies coming in to support. I think what's really important to provide financial stability that quite a few people need.
The tagline for the report is "This year is different." So you mentioned there that this is an annual report that you put together. Why is this year different?
Yeah, it's some things are the same and some things quite different. I think the key difference this year in our report that covers the last 3 years is the unprecedented impact of COVID-19. In our study, we've identified, and in terms of what we've paid out, 1 in 4 death claims that we've paid over the last 3 years has been on account of COVID-19. And just to put that in perspective, for almost a year of this report that it's been out, COVID wasn't considered or an unknown commodity. So it's had quite a big impact in this year's study.
Given the uncertainties created by COVID and the ongoing uncertainties as well that we've seen since then with inflation and other issues causing people to reassess their financial planning, just how much of an impact or how much influence is critical health planning having on overall financial planning?
It's really important. I couldn't emphasize it enough, and that's not just because we're an insurer. We did a survey earlier this year, and the results were a bit worrying. We asked people how they felt generally about their health, and 2 out of 3 respondents answered that they were either very worried or extremely worried about their health. And then following that, we asked them, well, if you were struck down with a critical illness and unable to work, how would you manage financially? And 50% of the respondents could only manage up to 3 months in their own assessment. So this tells us that financial preparedness is low. And given our study numbers around when we're paying out these claims, our average critical illness claimant was 49 years old. Our average death claim payout was at an average of 54 years old. So it's striking us earlier than we think. And so therefore, being able to provide for your family or your loved ones, particularly at a time when they are dependent on you financially, is really important. And that's why taking out health cover that goes beyond medical insurance as well is really important.
In terms of life cover as well and the benefits paid out there by in life cover, are we seeing, I mean, we talk a lot about lifestyle illnesses. Has there been a change in the sort of profile of lifestyle illnesses that are being covered or rather paid out for during the last year?
I'd say that there's been a continuation of that trend. Our previous reports had suggested and showed that lifestyle diseases in the main accounted for the leading causes for life cover and critical illness claims. So cardiovascular diseases such as heart attack, stroke, they continue to be leading causes, as well as cancer, accounting for, well, across all categories, more than 90% of the claims that we've paid out. So unfortunately, there's not a change there, and these monsters are still rife amongst us.
What about we often hear, don't we, whether it be medical, whether it be health, whether it be insurance, the importance of being proactive rather than reactive to issues of health. Has the uncertainty of COVID and the continuance of those uncertain, turbulent times, has that made us more proactive when it comes to making plans for our health insurance?
I would like to think that we are. From the recent survey that I just mentioned earlier, it sounds like that isn't the case. Now, that may not be for a want of trying. It may be as a result of economic circumstances. But I'd like to actually just pull out from a consumer report that was out earlier in the first quarter of this year, which showed that discretionary spending in this region was quite high. And in fact, in some areas of leisure and retail, exceeded the pre-pandemic days. That tells us that people have a sense of financial optimism and confidence, but it's not necessarily translating into financial preparedness. So I'd say from our survey results and our studies that we are observing that there's more that probably needs to be done in this space.
About 30 seconds left with you, Wilson, if I can. And I mean, just in terms of the report out at the moment, a lot of numbers to crunch there. What makes you most proud about this report this year and the work that Zurich's doing?
Yeah, I think it gives us immense satisfaction to put out this report every year. It's apart from awareness and education, it's also about transparency. We've paid out 97% of our claims over the last 3 years, and the quantum is $144 million. So 98% of our claims were paid out on the life side and 95% on the critical illness side. And I think that people should have the confidence and look out and get themselves financially prepared, get the financial vaccine.
Wilson, always good to catch up with you. Really appreciate your time this morning. Wilson Varghese is the General Manager and the Head of Operations at Zurich Middle East, reflecting and reacting to their 2022 Customer Benefits Paid Report.